Mr. Wayne, we know you for so much, and it would be wrong for me to ask the question, who is Rick Wayne? Because we have talk show, we have a newspaper, we have the recent OBE from the United Kingdom. We have so many items, so many events, so many memories of Rick Wayne. So it's definitely wrong for me to ask, who is Rick Wayne? So I'm going to start from youth. We know that you're from Larry. In terms of siblings and family and relatives, did you have any siblings from Larry?
Well, actually, it's not quite true what the legend is, that I was born in Labrie. I was born in Castries with another brother born who's now dead, and a sister Merle who died a couple of years ago as well. And we went to Labrie when I was about 6 years old, and I lived there till I was about 12. But I consider myself a Labrie boy, and that's how everybody knows me, a Labrie boy, which is fine by me. But just to set the record straight. Yeah.
Okay, definitely. And in primary school, you went to the primary school?
Yeah, I went to the primary school in Labrie. It was then right opposite the cemetery, and right next to where the presbytery is. But I don't know if there's a school. Is there still a school? I don't think so. But I went to school there, and my headmaster at the time was a guy called Mr. Testanier, Tstanier, Testanier. Yeah. And I think it was at that school that I first really got interested in writing, and even though I didn't know it at the time, but now in reflection, it's from hearing stories read to us, particular stories, incidentally, Bible stories, are what really triggered in me this appetite for literature, and I suppose for writing.
Okay. So from there, in secondary school, where did you attend secondary school?
I attended St. Mary's College, and that was famously expelled. And there's a whole story about that in my book. It'll be alright in the morning, so I won't go into that now.
Okay.
But I was famously expelled there, and it's an interesting irony that I seem to be a hot ticket for going to that college and doing motivational speeches. I just did one about 2 weeks ago, and they always have been very, very good. So I think I've been there 3 or 4 times. So it's an interesting irony, and I always tell the kids that I was expelled from the school, and so I get a perverse pleasure out of now coming to tell them how to be success stories.
Definitely an irony in there. And we know that you went to England. How soon after the expulsion from SMC did you go?
Oh, I went there I must have been about 17, 18, about that.
Okay. And from there, at the point of arrival, did you enter into school right away?
No, I didn't go to school at all. And again, my book, Right in the Morning, has a whole thing on that. I went there with no particular plan in mind. In fact, I think my parents were happy to get rid of me, to get me out of trouble. So I refer to that as I was their cross. I was troublesome. I was all the things normal kids do. But my parents were very, very strict disciplinarians, and so what normal kids did was everything wrong for them. So I went to England, and a few months after arrival there, I joined the army and spent, I think, maybe 2 years. Came out of the army, and eventually went into show business, and that's when my life really started in England.
So you say your life really started, which brings us to the point of bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, you say?
Well, I did bodybuilding here before I left, actually. It was quite good. By the time I was 15, 16, already it was pretty impressive. In fact, when I got to England, I was everybody thought that, this guy was great, 15, 16. So, but the bodybuilding started here.
In Solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The end to go into show business also started here. I remember going to a movie house here and seeing a movie called Rock Around the Clock, which was just about the first rock and roll movie there was, with Bill Haley. And the germs, ambition started there, and the opportunities came in England. But I won as far as the rock and roll, the singing thing started, I won a contest. It was called King of Rock and Roll in London. And I won it. It went for about 7 weeks. I won it, and the first prize was a prize money and a recording contract. And that's how I started singing.
Okay.
And I did that for several years until I decided I want to go back to bodybuilding. And so I gradually played down the showbiz side. I didn't give it up altogether because I used to do a show where I would both sing and do muscle control and all that kind of stuff to music. So I combined the two. It's only after I started winning the big contests like Mr. Universe and so on that I actually gave up. I cut a number of records and I gave up after that. I won every bodybuilding title except one, Mr. Olympia, and I didn't enter that because I had a training accident, and I decided it was time to concentrate on my writing instead. At the time, I was also the editor of one of Joe Weider's magazines, Flex magazine, and I decided to concentrate instead on the writing, and I've never regretted that because that's what I do now.
Okay, in terms of we know that you were into show business, you told us, and into bodybuilding, into singing. What really was the motivation? Was it something intrinsic, or was it just the feel good of the?
I don't know. I can't. All I can tell you is that ever since I was a kid here, I was interested in show business and showing off and winning things, and I was always sports oriented. Swimming. I tried a lot of sports that didn't like me, like cricket and track. I tried all those, and then I found the one that I really loved, bodybuilding. Did boxing. I was pretty good, but ended up doing bodybuilding, and I've never regretted that because bodybuilding teaches you discipline. But all sports do, but in particular bodybuilding, because it's kind of a lonely sport. It's by yourself, and you learn to get out of things what you put in. No limits.
Right, then you migrated to America.
I didn't really migrate to America. So the Joe Weider, who was basically the biggest promoter of bodybuilding in the world, and his headquarters were in New York. But he had a branch in London, and I wrote for the magazine out there. And he came out there once and decided I want this guy at my headquarters. So he took me away from his branch in London and made me the main man in New York. 3 months after that, the company in England folded. So it may have had something to do with my not being there. But I stayed with Weider. That's the only place I ever worked. I mean, apart from show business, that's the only job I ever did. I was the editor-in-chief, then became associate publisher of his magazine. I spent about 30 years there.